All right, welcome everybody to the 2 Meter Crew Anti-Net. My name is Nick. Call sign is KM6ZTH. Appreciate everybody coming out.
Have we started?
First and foremost, I'd like to thank the owners and supporters of the W6VVR and Vaca Valley Radio Club, the Contra Costa Fusion Repeater Systems, the Freestar Network, and WG5EEK for everyone's hard work in keeping all of the digital connections and repeaters up and running for our use. And before we get started, if there's any priority traffic at any time during the anti-net, we can clear the frequency. Just say break with your call sign. And we'll take a moment and see, is there any priority traffic at this time? Okay, nothing being heard. The 2 Meter Crew is not an actual club. We're just a group of hams learning and enjoying all things ham related. There are no dues or fees to be a 2 Meter Crew member. For more information, you can visit our Facebook site or join our Discord group. The links to those are in the description on YouTube. This is an open net. Everybody's welcome. Please feel free to join in. So the 2 Meter Crew Anti-Net meets every Wednesday at 7 p.m. on the W6VVR repeater with a 145.470 megahertz frequency, a negative offset of 600 kilohertz, and a PL tone of 127.3 hertz. We also have digital connectivity through Echolink at WG5EEK-L or W6VVR-R. also through All-Star Node 51094, DMR Talk Group 3149964, YSF Reflector 24033, the Contra Costa Repeater System. Their link is 50280 to that reflector or Wires X room. And through the Freestar All-Star links of 2195 or 53375. Those links are listed at the bottom of the YouTube screen in the scroll if you guys are interested, or you get lost and you're trying to find another way to connect. All of those are listed there. The Anti-Net's also being live streamed right here at Northwest Ham Shack. If you like what you see, please feel free to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you get a notification when it's time for us to come live again. Tonight, we're going to be doing a 2-meter crew simplex night. We're going to move over to the national calling frequency of 146.520 on 2 meters in a little bit. Before we get started with that, I just wanted to give everybody a heads up that we'll be moving over. So if you are in range in kind of the Northern California area, the Bay Area, anywhere like that, turn your dial. Let's see what we can find. We'll give you plenty of notification before we move over there. Before we get started with the simplex portion of tonight, I wanted to check in and see if there are any new operators out there. Is there anybody who just got their call sign, just upgraded their call sign, maybe got an upgrade in their license class? If that's you, come on in now. We want to hear from you. All right, I think I got KN6NCK. All right, thanks for checking in, Graham. Did you just recently upgrade your license or just get your license? Oh, awesome. That's super cool. Well, I appreciate you checking in with us tonight. If you are in the Northern California area, we'd love to have you come in and join us on Simplex and maybe get a contact in there, and we could share some signal report information. Great to see you're advancing quite fast in the hobby, and you said you've had your license for about a month now? Hey, that's awesome. Yeah, don't forget to share all that knowledge with people as they're growing up in the hobby. And awesome call sign, KN6NQK. This is KN6DAL. Let's see if we got anybody else out there. Is there anybody else that just got their call sign, just upgraded, new license, anything? All right, nothing being heard. Let's move on. So before we switch over to talking about 2-meter simplex, there is going to be quite a few people on tonight that don't have access to the immediate region to where we're going to be practicing the simplex test. If you're coming in through a digital mode or are from a faraway land and coming in joining us on the Anti-Net, if you'd like to check in and say hi, let's take a couple check-ins and see who we got out there. Anybody, come on in now. All right. Thanks for checking in and saying hi, Michael. We're looking forward to seeing if we can make contact with you as well. Next station, anybody coming in through any digital modes want to check in and say hi? All right, I think I got it. We're having some intermittent issues with one of the digital connections. We'll see how that plays out. Lucky for us, we're moving off this frequency pretty soon. So, well, with that, nothing being heard, I'm going to pass it over to Justin, and he's going to go over a couple of the ways that we're going to try to pass some reports and give us some information before we move over. So this is Nick, KM6ZTH. I'm going to pass it over to Justin if you want to come in and tell us a little bit about the plan.
Hey, yeah. Oh, let's the repeater drop. All right, KM6ZTH. So yeah, the game plan is we all jump over to 14652. I do apologize if you are west of my QTH. There's a good chance you're gonna have a hard time. I'm on the bottom part of a hill, so everybody east, kind of north and south, might have a good chance. But we are going to be able to bring this in here on YouTube and Zoom. Hopefully, we'll run relay on a few things. Let me go back to the logo for now. We are going to might be a few folks out there running relay, and just do your best. Try to get in. We'll try to break the pile up. Be patient. Simplex is fun, but it can be nerve-wracking too. So if you've never been out there and you've never called CQ, this is a great time to play Simplex if you've never done it. Couple reminders here is you want to make sure that your radio is not set to have an offset, right? You're not in repeater mode anymore. You want to make sure that you don't have tone and tone squelch on. And if you are listening for me, there's actually a good chance you're going to hear me. I am running us on the George Foreman grill, as the Green Donkey has so lovingly dubbed it. And I'm going to run a full tilt with that. And we also have I have a collinear antenna, so we should have a good conditions to get out. We'll see what I can hear though. The other thing to remind you of is open up those squelches, right? You might not hear anything if that squelch isn't wide open. So, unfortunately K6BIV hates this, but white noise is the name of the game tonight. So, go ahead and jump on 146.52, and we are going to have a little fun playing Simplex. If you're not able to get in or you're having difficulties, there are some folks monitoring things over on all the various modes that we normally are on. So don't hesitate to reach out to somebody there. KM6ZTH QSY to 14652. Give me a moment to get set up.
Somebody want to grab that? That can mute? I can't mute Justin. Oh, he's got it.
That was K7NDO. We gotcha. KN6ETB, this is KM6ZTH doing some Simplex with the 2-meter crew here on Zoom. How you doing out there?
This is KN6HOK.
KN6HLK, I've got you down. I don't think ETB is making it very much to my QTH, but I can tell he's under there. Got you loud and clear there, Colonel. How you doing tonight?
Doing real well. I just made it back here in time. The wife had to take a trip to the to Walgreens.
Very good, very good. This is KM6ZTH with the 2-meter crew. We are doing a little bit of Simplex tonight on YouTube and Zoom, so feel free to come out here, try to see if we can get you in, and check us out. See what we can do. KM6ZTH CQ.
November 6th, Echo Tango Bravo, calling CQ,
KN6ETB, I've got you there, Kellen. Do you copy me? KM6ZTH copying KN6ETB.
Copy, I got you coming about I would say about a 3 in my mobile, headed home to the QTH.
Sounds good, Kellen. Well, tonight, instead of being on VBR, we're doing some Simplex. So we are running the same rig right now. If you were able to see, you'd see the George Foreman grill frying up the airwaves right now. KM6ZTH, anyone else out there? That was Carrier No Audio, KM6ZTH, calling CQ for the 2-meter crew Simplex night. KM6ZTH, CQ, CQ, CQ.
Now this KM6TAX, I can hear people real far in the noise down there. But Ted and Concord here, KM6TAX.
TAX, good to hear you out there, Ted. Yes, copy you loud and clear, no surprise. And yeah, I can hear somebody down in the noise. I just can't pull them out. And on the George Foreman, there's not really any filter in there. So, got you checked in there, Ted. How you doing tonight?
I'm pretty good, just hanging out here. The QTH, thought I'd say hi. I'm just kind of cleaning up the shack, kind of organizing some stuff. You guys keep up the good work, and yeah, I hope to hear some more people out there. They're kind of faint, but I hear a little something. KM6TAX.
Kilo, November 6th, Echo Tango Bravo, at the home QH, 2-meter.
Oh, well, that's a clean signal there, Kellen. KN6ZTH, you definitely have a copy on that KN6ETD.
You know, I lost you a little bit, but it sounds like you're coming in much better, sir. You have a wonderful evening. I'm going to go sit down with the family and eat some dinner.
7-3 Kellen. I think there was somebody else in there. Maybe try stepping a little bit in another direction. You were starting to come in. I just couldn't quite make you out. think I hear somebody with Echo Lima. Try again. KM6ZTH. KM6ZTH calling CQ. For the 2 meter crew, Simplex night. Anybody out there? I think there's a number of you out there. I'm just not getting you. KM6ZTH, keep trying.
KM6QLV, this is Vincent Pittsburgh.
KM6QLV, got you loud and clear there, sir. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing good, just watching everything and enjoying the show.
Very good. Thanks for making the contact. Pittsburgh, not surprised. I've got pretty good line of sight to you, so we'll hope you join us later and join us on other things here. KM6ZTH calling CQ. I think I heard the name Dale in Concord. Try again. Throw out your call. Go phonetically, please. Kilo Mike 6, Zulu Tango Hotel. Yeah, I can't quite make you out there. We've got something pulling us down, so I'm gonna have to move on to the next one there. KM6ZTH calling CQ. You're in my noise. I can tell you there. Didn't quite have a copy on that. KM6ZTH with the 2 meter crew doing a live stream and Zoom. Looking for check-ins on 14652 tonight. My QTH is in Benicia, so if anybody's trying to point their Yagi, figure out where to be looking towards. If you can be looking towards Benicia, KM6ZTH.
Keep it on the back burner, you may get another chance to check. Boom! What's going on, Justin? KD6KWV. How copy?
KD6KWV, great to hear you, Bobby. And, the best part of that is you are full tilt boogie, man. I'm going to have you come back one more time because my camera shut off, but I want everybody to see my meter get pegged when you come in.
All right, Justin, sounds good, brother. I just heard UJH in there right under me as well, so I'll let him jump in right after, and it's good to hear you, bro. I had no idea what the heck was going on. I was looking at my clock, 7:01, 7:02, 7:03. I'm all, come on, man, there's no way we're getting to 7:04. By the time we got to 7:06, I'm all, Houston, we have a problem. So I didn't realize tonight was a Simplex night, and I heard somebody else come on the Coco Fusion side and say that you guys were doing something Simplex, and I figured everything out when I turned on VVR and I heard you, but we weren't hooked up. We weren't linked to Fusion. And I'm all, what's going on? So I sent Tim a text and said, bro, did we get booted? Anyway, brother, it's good to hear you. And happy Wednesday to everybody that's listening. I hope everybody's staying safe and healthy and thriving. And this is Bobby in Concord, KD6KWV. Boom!
KD6KWV, thank you very much. And we love the folks over at Cocoa Fusion. Of course you haven't been booted. Maybe we can work a little bit on our communication. Anyhow, we're still working out kinks, you know. Anyhow, KM6ZTH for the 2-meter crew Simplex night on 14652. I believe KI6UJH might be there in the pipe. Let's go ahead and give that a try, Doug. I can hear somebody in there, but I can't quite make you out. You're just in my noise. KM6ZTHCQCQ for the 2-meter crew anti-net Simplex night.
Relay sounds like November Quebec Kilo.
November Quebec Kilo. You've got a relay through KM6TAX. How you doing out there tonight?
Sounds like Graham in Brentwood. Kilo November 6, November Quebec Kilo. I think that's what he said. Yep, he said affirmative. Okay, so it's Graham in Brentwood. Kilo November 6, November Quebec Kilo. KM6TAX Concord.
Well, thanks so much there, Ted, for acting relay, and that's the beauty of Simplex, right? Is if we can't hear each other, if somebody else can hear somebody, we can all play relay. For those that are really into the MCOM game, this is what makes MCOM work, right? If our repeaters are down, we can all still talk to one another. KM6ZTH calling CQ, and thanks for making that call out there, KN6NQK. 2-meter crew anti-net on 14652. QTH here is Benicia, so if you've got a Yagi, you're trying to figure out where to hut, aim toward Benicia. KM6ZTH, CQ.
Kilo November 6, Echo Tango Romeo.
Kilo November 6, Echo Tango Romeo. How you doing out there tonight?
I'm doing well. Thanks for hosting it on Simplex. I was really looking forward to this. Name is Dan. I'm out here in Vacaville, California.
Right on, Dan. You're actually coming in pretty strong into Benicia. That surprises me a little bit from Vacaville, so fantastic. Glad to have you out here.
Thank you. Yeah, I've got you on a 10 watts right now with a Comet vertical on the roof of my 2-story house.
Very good, very good. What's my signal like into Vacaville?
You've got, I don't know, 4 bars. I mean, I think you're 5'9". You've got 4 bars here on the digital display there.
Very good. Thanks so much, Dan, and thanks for always being out there and joining us. Glad to have you out here. Anyone else out there? Calling CQ for the 2-meter crew anti-net KM6ZTH. Come on back, y'all.
KM6ZTH from Whiskey Bravo 6, Echo Delta Mike.
Whiskey Bravo 6, Echo. I didn't quite catch the rest of that.
Echo Delta Mike.
Whiskey Bravo 6, Echo Delta Mike. How you doing out there tonight?
I'm very, very reasonable. I have no idea what the anti-net business is all about. What can you enlighten me?
Sure thing. So the 2-meter crew is a group of guys that likes to get together every Wednesday night, and we typically host a net over on the Whiskey 6 VVR repeater, the Cocoa Fusion repeater, and a whole host of other platforms. We're on Echolink, D-Star, DMR. Maybe we're not on D-Star. I think we're on almost everything else, though. And we just get together, try to encourage each other to make sure to spend time on the radio, at least once a week, and encourage one another. We've got a Discord. We've got a Facebook page. We've got all kinds of people, and there's no fees, there's no dues. It's just good people hanging out with good people helping play ham radio. So we do a live stream over on the Northwest Ham Shack on YouTube with this, and at the end of that, when we leave the radio, we invite everybody in on the Zoom, so those people that might not have been able to get in via the radio RF can join us some other way. KM6ZTH with Whiskey Bravo 6 Echo Delta Lima, I believe it was.
Echo Delta Mike. Well, it sounds like a very ambitious project there. There's a lot of radio waves to occupy, so it sounds like you guys should have no trouble. 5-2 is a funny place because most of the time it's empty, but every now and then there's a surprising amount of traffic. I should say my name is John, and I'm in Kensington, which is the Lake Wobegon of the East Bay.
Well, thanks for coming back, John. That is, we just like to play on the radio. And yeah, 5-2 was chosen because how many of us are monitoring constantly and you never hear anything? So what better place to actually break that squelch and everybody goes, wait, that part of my VFO is not supposed to be the thing I have to turn up right now. What's going on? So we do want to encourage folks to always call CQ on 5-2. KM6ZTH calling CQ for the 2 Meter Crew anti-net. Anyone else out there?
Whiskey 6, Delta Mike Whiskey.
Whiskey 6, Delta Mike Whiskey. Come on back.
How are ya? Long-time listener, infrequent caller. Heard the CQ while I'm on my way home. Just wanted to say hello.
So are you one of those that typically has the 5-2 dialed in on your, is it in the scan or is it dialed in on the second VFO?
Always have it on in the either VFO. I don't prioritize, so it's always on one of them, no matter what.
Right on. How often would you say you make contact on 5-2?
Once a week, probably once a week. Solid answer.
Right on. So what you're saying is we all need to learn to, that 5-2 we have there, call CQ more often.
Heck yeah, it's that infamous, the bands are dead, the bands are dead. Oh my god, they're not dead. It's a contest weekend kind of thing. We just got to get on the air and use it.
I hear you there, man. I hear you there. Well, thanks for coming back, and thanks for participating in ham radio. That's what the 2 Meter Crew's all about. Is we all just want to get out there and play. KM6ZTH for the 2 Meter Crew. Calling CQ, trying to get as many folks to check in here.
Hi, everybody. Can anybody hear me?
Oh my goodness, it is the donkey. You must have left the QTH, because I can hear you full quieting. KM6ZTH with K6DJV. How you doing, Derek?
Hello, everybody out there in Radio Land. Yeah, it's really kind of strange, because normally I can't hear you too well here in the toilet. But yeah, you've got a great signal tonight.
Yeah, I'm on the Foreman. I'm not on the IC7100, so we're going full tilt. I've got the antenna a lot higher and all that, but you're coming in strong too, so there must be some ducting or something going on, because normally you're in the weeds for me, and actually when you and Chris were talking earlier, you were in the weeds.
Yeah, I was out and about going to McDonald's in my silver tuna, and I was surprised I could even hear you then, so yes, we're being blessed by the radio gods. Hi, everybody.
Well, Derek, we want to thank you for creating all those wonderful YouTube videos, whether they're making contacts or making us laugh. We do appreciate you and the encouragement you do for everybody with ham radio. After all, the 2 Meter Crew is all about us all just getting out on the airwaves and having a good time.
Yep, you're absolutely 100% correct. Get out there, have some fun. If it's not fun, then you're not doing it right. Anyway, I'll shut up now. Bye, everybody. K6DJV, clear.
Anybody can relay me, tell them Sandy that A is Tyrone.
KN6GST, there's no need for a relay. Your Tyrone is making it to my QTH. How you doing tonight, Sandy?
Oh, there you go. Just sitting in the backyard.
Right on. What's the bottle of wine tonight? think you might have tilted your antenna or moved it a little bit because we just lost you there. Come on back.
I'm working on the 2016 Fillmore West,
Very nice. Well, as always, wonderful to hear you out there, Sandy. Always wonderful to catch you on the radio. Such a pleasant person to have a chat with. KM6ZTH with KN6GST and the 2-meter crew calling CQCQ on the 2-meter crew anti-net Simplex night. Come on back, y'all.
KR6BBQ, mobile and Concord.
BBQ, great to hear you. Love to see those pictures on Discord. Always makes my mouth water. How you doing?
Pretty good. Just left my son's soccer practice, so driving out of Clayton and into Concord right now.
Right on. Well, thanks for having the 5-2 on, and thanks for coming back. Soccer practice, beautiful weather for it right now.
Yeah, both of my boys are doing it, so we're at the soccer field 5 days a week now. This is our life.
Right on, right on. Well, I played soccer myself as a kid. Good job playing dad and prioritizing things. KM6ZTH with KR6BBQ and the 2-meter crew. Anti-net calling CQ for anybody who wants to come back.
Well, what the heck? This is KM6MRU. Chris here in Benicia. Good evening there, Justin.
MRU, good to hear you. No surprise, we have a pretty good line of sight. How you doing tonight?
Well, I'm doing good, and I have to agree with Derek there that you sound really good. I mean, like full scale, so very good. And sounds like you're getting a lot of people checking in. So I'm hearing most folks, maybe not everybody, but most. So that's great to hear. Anyway, I'll give it back to you, KM6MRU.
Thanks there, Chris. KM6ZTH, yes, pushing out 75 watts out of the George Foreman and the collinear, so I should have a much better signal than usual. KM6ZTH with KM6MRU and the 2-meter crew anti-net. Come on back, y'all. There's somebody in there, and I'm not copying them. So let's call CQ some more. KM6ZTH with the 2-meter crew anti-net Simplex night. Come on back. CQ, CQ, CQ.
I could hear that Highway 37 channel, or station, excuse me, and if you want to come back, I'll get your call.
Is there something going on out here?
Is that K6FAK?
Copy that. Okay, I heard you, K6FAK, and also Highway 37 checking in, and the call is N6 Echo Foxtrot Romeo. November 6 Echo Foxtrot Romeo. You got that there, Justin?
Copy that relay. N6 EFR. That is Bert checking in off of 37. That is fantastic. Thanks for making the contact there, Bert. And thank you for the relay there, MRU. KM6ZTH with KM6MRU, relaying for N6 EFR, and K6FAK, as always, causing trouble. I've got a no copy on this station. Anybody running relay for me? Well, he kind of checked in, but let's go back to K6FAK. Jason, you still out there tonight?
I am here. Can you hear me, Justin? You're coming in pretty good here. Well, you're maybe, 5 by 5.
You're coming in pretty strong here. There's a little bit of scratch on you, but, you're better than the VVR repeater at times. KM6ZTH.
Ooh! Yeah, that hurts, but accurate. Well, very good. Keep up the good work. Great seeing everyone there in your Brady Bunch box. And I'll be listening. K6FAK.
KM6ZTH calling CQ for the 2-meter crew anti-net on 146.52. If you're looking to point your Yagi, you're looking for a Benicia QTH. Benicia, California. KM6ZTH CQ. KM6ZTH with the 2-meter crew anti-net on 146.52. I will continue to monitor, but I'm going to pull you from the anti-net part of things. Most everybody here is going to QSY back to the Whiskey 6 VVR repeater to wrap up the anti-net, and as always, you're welcome to join us on the YouTube for the Northwest Ham Shack, or Discord, or Facebook, or any of the other fun platforms. We do encourage y'all to come on back and join us on Zoom tonight. KM6ZTH, CQ. Everybody else, QSY to Whiskey 6 VVR.
W0DLP from Bethel, California.
All right, we all back? I'm going to bring up VVR here. All right, good evening, everybody. This is Nick KN6DAL. Let me make sure I'm coming over the repeater here.
6PX6, I'm on to Nick. You're coming loud and clear on VVR. Carry on.
All right, thanks, Michael. This is Nick KN6DAL. So Justin's just wrapping up the portion of the Simplex side of tonight's contacts, and he'll be back shortly, and we'll discuss that a little bit. But for those of you that are just getting involved in radio or just listening in, that's a pretty good description of kind of how Simplex works. You know, you turn your squelch all the way down, you listen for all those stations that can barely make it in, and see who's out there, see what kind of contacts you can make. I thought that was pretty fun and interesting to see who could all make it in. And you know, sometimes you find out more about your station just by trying that. You find out what works, what doesn't. You know, maybe there's a spot that you can get on your property or somewhere around your neighborhood that works really well, and then other places that don't. And it's just kind of a test and learn thing, and it's a lot of fun to do. So I'm going to pass it around to the people on Zoom and give them a chance to talk here and see what they thought about it. Greg, KN6KIE, how are you doing tonight? How did you like the 2-meter crew Simplex event we had there?
You know, honestly, I couldn't hear a whole lot of folks from where I'm at. I know, where Justin's, Justin's sitting, I'm not going to be able to Simplex with him out here, not with a bigger station. But it was fun. You know, I kind of tuned in some, and it's like you say, you know, you start to learn about your own setup when you do stuff like this. So always good fun. Any excuse to play with the radio or get on Simplex is always cool with me. Kilo November 6, Kilo India Echo for ID.
Yeah, absolutely. Connor, what was it like for you? Were you hearing a lot of the stations come in, or did you notice any kind of struggle with your station?
So a couple of times when Justin was talking, K7CBL, if we're over the air, a couple of times I heard my squelch crack on my commercial receiver. And then there was that one station, I think I said it in chat, that he was, let's see, was it N6? Oh no, WB6EDL, who was full quieting into my receiver here, and supposedly everybody else he was full quieting too. So those were the only two stations, and then I had another station who was, I believe, was trying to check in, who's got an S1, and as I was trying to get his call sign to relay it, there's another station in the Richmond Hills area who keyed up over him, so I kind of lost that contact, sadly. I called back and the guy was gone, but other than that, there wasn't a whole lot that I could hear, and I've got a very very decent setup, we'll put it that way. I'm normally able to make contacts basically anywhere in the Bay Area, even into the deep East Bay, so that's basically it for me.
All right, leave a pause, let that repeater reset there. Servando, what was your experience with it? How did everything work from your end? What were you hearing? What weren't you hearing? What do you think?
K6 SRV. Are we still on there? Yeah, we are. I have the similar experience as Greg. I was kind of disappointed actually with my setup. I thought if I had like a 5-point, almost 6 foot tall vertical, I should be able to hear everything around me. Definitely should be hearing Justin, but yeah, that was not the case. I just late into this thing, I set up my Yagi, and my little 5-watt HT was able to pick up way better signals than this 6 foot antenna. So it just goes to show that antenna is a huge make or break deal in a setup. Just because you got the biggest and greatest vertical antenna, it may not be the best choice, and that was clear for me tonight. So this is a lot of fun.
All right, thanks, Servando. This is Nick, KM6ZTH. Last we got Justin. You back? How did the wrap up go? Tell us about it.
Well, I only had one more check-in, and that was from one of our folks that does a lot of posts on Facebook. He calls himself the Donkey Hunter. That's Dale. Just got his new vanity call today. Whiskey 0 Delta Lima Papa. And, I do some simplexing like this with my local Benicia Club and a couple of other guys. We have a GoToNet on Monday nights, and they do a band tour. So I'm kind of used to the various environments. I'm glad a lot of people got out there and a lot of different things, but I mean, terrain is everything. KM6MRU in all of these things typically is a great relay station because he's on top of a hill, right? So he's got this amazing ability to bring in a signal. I am at the bottom of a hill. So while I'm open up to Pittsburgh and over towards Diablo, anything on the opposite side of those hills, California's got a lot of hills. So it's amazing what our terrain does for 2 meters.
Yeah, it's crazy how some days it works really well, some days it doesn't. Servando hit the nail on the head as far as antenna. Your antenna system just absolutely makes or breaks your station more than any other component. I completely agree with that. Different antennas, they don't necessarily have to be expensive, can outperform some of the most expensive antennas depending on the environment. And then another thing that we didn't really touch on all that much tonight, but one of the things that makes a significant difference in your success on 2-meter simplex is elevation. The more elevation you get over just the terrain around you makes a significant impact on your ability to hear and transmit. You find if you can get on a 3,000 foot peak, you're gonna make contacts very, very far away compared to what you would make if you were at sea level. So my encouragement would be to anybody who hasn't experienced that and is interested, find a place that you can either drive up to or hike up to. Bring an HT, and I mean, even if you don't have an extra antenna for it, just bring an HT with the rubber ducky antenna, and you'd be surprised at the type of contacts you can make. Derek, K6DJV, was one of the people that checked in with you on Simplex there just a minute ago, and we made a contact once. We were both on pretty high elevation gains, but we made a contact with rubber ducky antennas on bow fins at 150 miles away, and so those are the types of things that are really fun to experience. And you got to get up high, got to get some elevation, preferably get a little bit better antenna, build an antenna, and get out there and get talking to people. So yeah, I really appreciate that. That was a lot of fun. Do you have anything that you want to try to do as far as getting anybody else on for signal reports or anything like that, Justin? Back to you.
Well, I'd like to. I should let the repeater cycle.
We're good. We're
Okay.
on.
KM6ZTH. I think we should, see if anybody else out there on Whiskey 6 VVR here wants to come back with their experience tonight or things there. But before we do that, I do want to agree with Nick there on all those things. It's not necessarily a matter of how much money you spend or how much power you run. It's a matter of having the right combination of tools. And, I think it was over on the 533, WA6PKJ used to tell me all the time, antenna, antenna, antenna. And same with many of my other Elmers here in Benicia. And I think it's very much true. So elevation, antenna. There's one other thing, and that's selectivity. I probably could have pulled better signals out of my ICOM 7100 than I could of my George Foreman. It's probably not as sensitive of a receiver. I think like that 991 sitting behind you there, Nick, that's probably a much better radio for doing that. And so there are going to be things like that about your receive is actually just as important as your transmit, because if you can't hear them, you're not going to make the contact.
All right. Well, let's see who we got out there. Anybody out on the airwaves that had an opportunity to check in via Simplex with Justin and wants to give their rendition of it and maybe a signal report? Come on in now.
K6EBH.
K6EBH, the floor is yours.
Yeah, Roger, thank you. Jim in Tracy, and I'm indoors, ground level studio apartment with a mag mount, and I'm hitting the repeater right now. I've got a 991A. I went over to Simplex and heard absolutely zero. Didn't even try to transmit zero. There was a couple times I got a little scratch that might have been a signal, but definitely unintelligible. And that's the same antenna, same everything. So how I can hit the repeater from Tracy from indoors on a mag mount with zero Simplex for guys that are closer, it's kind of puzzling. But I'm thinking possibly that elevation of that repeater has a whole lot to do with it.
Yeah, Tim, I call that getting skunked. There's nothing worse, and I have experienced this. So for a technical SOTA activation, you need to make 4 contacts. There's nothing worse than making 3 contacts after you hiked all the way up to the top of that hill. But the experience is fun nonetheless. So totally understand. Sometimes it just doesn't work out. There's a number of different factors that could be at play, as I'm sure you know. But unfortunately, sometimes it just isn't in the cards where we're not going to make the contacts that we would hope. I mean, my hope would be every time I get on Simplex and start calling CQ that I'm just going to get a massive pileup of people trying to contact, but it could be a number of different things. You know, Justin alluded to, you know, the fact that his location, there's a number of different hills that are blocking his signal from different directions, and that could just be simply a part of it. Most of the contacts that he made were kind of to, I think, the northeast, if I'm not mistaken, and the south. But they're all kind of in one general area, and so I'm not sure what Tracy looks like. Do you want to chime to that, Justin? What does Tracy look like propagation-wise to you?
KM6ZTH. Yes, the hills actually from Mount Diablo, the foothills that surround it, pretty much occlude me from Tracy. So yes, it's back to those high elevations. The other thing is Tracy very much opens up towards VVR in the way that it kind of hits Vacaville. Vacaville kind of wraps around a little bit. And I actually have a hard time hitting this repeater from my QTH. I mean, I've had this 17-foot antenna for a while, but it wasn't until I moved it another 10 feet up onto the center of my 2-story roof. I mean, it wasn't much more elevation, but it's enough more that it really started to make a difference. I was very not so much making it in, but you know, the trees, there's all kinds of things that can be in the way, and then propagation is the other half of that. I know there's a lot of atmospheric things that can also come into play, but we're at lower elevations, and most of those don't have an effect on us.
I don't know what that was. I'm just listening for a second. All right, KN6DAL, thanks Tim, K6EBH for chiming in. Is there anybody else out there that was able to make it over to 146520 that wants to come in with a signal report and your opinion of tonight?
KM6TAX.
Ted, I would have to say that you are probably one of the loudest and biggest booming in stations to Justin's QTH tonight. Go ahead.
Tell him that. Of course I heard Jason. What was Jason? Jason was kind of in the weeds, though. I'm going to have to be honest. I was going to say, yeah, Justin was an S9. HLK was an S9, KN6ETB was an S3, ETR was an S1, NQK was an S3, EDM was an S7, DMW was an S9, DJV was an S9, BBQ was an S9, MRU was an S9, and Bobby Lee was an S9. And yeah, good test tonight. But yeah, Jason, geez, he was in the weeds. He was probably like an S3 or something.
Well, ouch, that's going to hurt his pride. No, to be honest, Jason, the first transmission that he made, there was another person relaying Bert back in from Highway 37, and Jason's first transmission came in pretty clear. And then it seemed like it faded just a little bit. So, yeah, I did hear that as well. But back to you, Ted.
Yeah, just saying, yeah, that was a good little test. And, yeah, I've got the little Diamond X510 up in the air. You know, the tip of it is at about 45 feet. And yeah, it reaches out pretty good. I need to cut some of the coax off though. It still has 100 feet of coax hooked up to it. I could probably cut about 50 feet of it off. So that's kind of wasting, but I'll get to that at some point when I have some time. But yeah, oh yeah, when I heard barbecue on there, I was gonna ask him a question, but oh well, it's all right. I don't know if he's still out there. Anyway, KM6TAX.
What your radio is and how much power you're sending. Of course, I know the answer, but for everyone else. K6FAK.
Secret, though. Alright. It's a 9700. I'm running 100 watts right now. I'm actually running 101 watts. And it's about 1, 2 to 1, not bad. And, that's what I'm running, the Diamond X510 with 100 feet of LMR 400 that I should cut a lot of the coax off. But, anyway, that's what I'm running, KM6TAX.
Well, I was thinking you were gonna be sporting more power than that, just to see if you could. But yeah, anybody else out there want to jump in and say their piece? We're gonna be slowly wrapping this up and moving over to Zoom. I posted a link in the chat. Everybody's welcome that wants to come join in on our Zoom chat for a little bit and say hi, and we can discuss this further. But let's see if there's anybody else out there that was able to make the 2-meter Simplex night. They want to come in with any signal reports or comments.
KI6UJH.
KI6UJH, come on in.
Yeah, this is KI6UJH, Doug in Antioch, and I heard Bobby Lee pretty well, and he acknowledged me, so we probably have done a QSO. I don't have the call signs that I wrote down in front of me, but there was somebody in Brentwood that was full scale, and at the risk of swelling Taxman's head a little bit more, KM6TAX, I heard him S1.5 to S2, and there's about 1,000 feet of topography between us. So whatever he's doing is great. KI6UJH.
So, Doug, what you're saying is you can overcome elevation with enough power and overcompensation in equipment.
I don't know how it was happening. My guess is it's a he had enough power and there's a multipath off of something. But yeah, I'm in Antioch, so I'm about 200 feet elevation, and he's in Concord, about the same elevation. And there's the Willow Pass range. Krieger Peak, in fact, is between us.
Well, there you have it. There's all kinds of ways of doing things. But there's an important thing in there, too, that we did forget to mention. Feed line. You know, it's all the components of your system that makes a difference. I know feed line's my weak point. So some RG58 isn't exactly the best stuff to be running.
Not on VHF. No. This is Nick KN60AL. Yeah, you actually hit up on another point, Justin, and I didn't want to break this open because it's we could go all night about the configuration and the style of radio that you're using and how it receives makes a huge difference. So that's one thing I avoid when at all possible a direct conversion radio when I go up. If I'm gonna backpack into somewhere. But there's a lot of different ways to skin a cat with Simplex. The main thing is use what you got, get out there, try to make contacts. If it doesn't work, make small changes, and eventually you're gonna find some success in it. And it's a ton of fun. It's a ton of fun to meet new people, and every now and again you run across somebody and you're like, whoa, you're super far away, and I've never made a contact that far away. And just to know that your radio can do that is a pretty exciting experience. So let's see if we got anybody else out there that wants to jump in and say hi. This is for anybody, any stations, anywhere that want to check in and say hi on the 2 Meter Crew Anti-Net. Come on in now.
Phil, KM6QLD. It's my rig.
I think I got Phil, KN6QLT. Go ahead.
Yeah, KMG. Yeah. Yeah, and everything was sounding pretty scratchy there for a second. Just checking in, nothing for the anti-net.
All right. Well, thanks for checking in. Any other stations want to check in before we move over to Zoom? Michael from Carmichael, come on in. Tell us, did you hear anything on 2 Meter Simplex?
Negative, though. I was talking to a gentleman named Tony KN6 PBX, so close call sign as me. It was in the Roseville area at the time. We QSY'd over to 146.535, but did you guys hear me at all? I pushed 65 watts maximum for my diamond antenna, which is about 20 feet above the ground. And I think my area at Carmichael's maybe 100-foot elevation at that, but anyone hear me at all? Not even scratch?
I'm seeing the chat room here, and we've got a bunch of shaking heads no, unfortunately. And I didn't hear anything relayed through Justin's station. Servando saying he didn't hear you. And Greg is flying over a mountaintop right now, and we can't see his face. So I'm going to have to say negative on that. Back to you, Michael.
Problem at all, man. Not a problem at all. I think maybe down the road I'll have to upgrade my antenna or just figure it out. But not a problem at all. Anyway, you guys take care, and you'll be seeing me on Zoom. KN6BXX. Back to you, Nick.
All right, thanks, Michael. Any other stations? This is Nick, KN6DAL with the 2 Meter Crew Anti-Net. Any other stations? Come on in now.
Kilo, November 6th, November. Got a few digital guys come back on here when you guys popped over, and they wanted to check in too.
Yeah, I think that was Graham there. Thank you for that. I was reaching out at first mainly to all the people who had done the Simplex test, but yeah, any stations out there, digital, coming in analog, any stations that want to check in, we got a few more minutes. Come on in now. All right, the uncomfortable pause is over. We didn't hear any stations coming in, so what we're going to do now, we're going to move over to Zoom. I'll keep the Zoom link up there in the chat room on YouTube. If anybody wants to join in and say hi, you're welcome to. So with that, I will say thanks again to all the supporters and operators and people that are keeping the repeater systems and all the digital connections up. Huge thanks to Justin for being kind of the coordinator on the Simplex night, and appreciate everybody coming out. So with that, I will we'll be moving over to Zoom, having a little bit of a conversation. Everybody's welcome to join, and we will return the repeaters back to normal operation. 7-3. All right. Got everybody up here.
Yeah, I realize I need to separate my audio from. I'm realizing Zoom actually connects my audio to my radio. So if I turn Zoom up, the radio goes up. If I'm trying to turn Zoom down so I could listen to the radio, and that was half my problem here tonight as well.
So, Greg, do you have your audio? Do you have your radio's audio going into your computer?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, yeah. So that was one of the things that I was challenged with, and it might be worth. Sorry to throw you under the bus here, Connor. It might be worth a side conversation with Connor or myself
K7MBO.
as far as some things that he helped me get through, because the dynamic of what I'm capable of doing with my radio audio and just separating everything and controlling it all separately is better than it's ever been before. And it's really cool because like I could turn VVR back on right now and have only me listen to it. I couldn't even hear it and have it go out through YouTube and not even know it if I wasn't paying attention and that kind of thing. So those.
Did you get like a digital soundboard? Is that what you're using to do it?
Yeah. We're doing it. We're running it all through digital soundboard.
You want me to show him?
Yeah, if you want to pull it up, you can.
Or I can show mine because mine's a little bit more stupid, painful. Can you give me screen share? Let me make sure this is all.
Now you guys remember how to do screen share, right?
Oh no! No!
We like screen share. We like screen share.
Yeah, let's do it.
No, we don't like screen share.
It's all yours, Connor.
Go ahead, Connor.
Here we go.
It's all you, dude.
Oh God! All right, so.
Ready?
Give it a banana. This is gonna suck.
Oh, is this what you guys are? Is this what you guys are like? I'm checking this. Now try this. Now try. Dude, this is too much. Dude. This is too much.
Yeah. So like, should I do? I'm gonna do the Walmart, Nick. I'm gonna do the Walmart thing. Yeah, attention, Walmart shoppers, clean up on aisle 3. You know. So like, yeah, it's painful to say. It worked, right? It made my. It sounded. It cut all the lows off my audio, right?
Yes, it did.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure because I was like,
you sounded terrible
stupid.
and hilarious at the same time.
Yeah.
Banana?
What is this? What is this?
It's a virtual mix. So it's a virtual mixer. So you can have a physical mixer like what I have on my desk, what Nick has on his desk, and you can also have and I only had a virtual mixer for the longest amount of time. Is this application here, and I mean it allows complete control. So say I want to send you guys like say I'm not gonna do it, but say I wanted to send you guys actually no, we'll send them the Nick audio. We'll send them very good MP3 file I have on my desktop of Nick. So say I want to send you guys audio so you can hear what my desktop what I'm hearing. So right now you won't hear anything, but if I click this and I start this nice little file up, you get Nick Crackle.mp3, which is Nick's original audio issue.
That was kind of creepy.
He has that saved on his desktop just for.
I do. I just haven't cleaned up my
it on
desktop.
you.
So.
Like he went straight to it. Like it's.
Yeah, because I got a couple.
Use that as my alarm clock in the morning, dude.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh no. But so yeah, so I got all this set up. Nick's got it pretty similar. Actually, his is a bit. I wouldn't say it's more hectic, but it's still hectic.
Wait, so why? Okay, so when Nick is getting his audios, like you're dialing him in. Why are you doing it and not Nick?
So Nick.
I'll chime in on that. Let's just say he's way smarter than me.
Okay.
No, I'm just so all of this is self-taught for me. I'm just learning as I go, right? And he's had this set up for a long time.
Gotcha.
And it's really complicated. So it's extremely complicated running a radio live streamed into YouTube. Right. And then
that's the hard part.
You're bringing audio from all these different sources. I mean, I've got my microphone, I've got the audio, and then you got to get audio to pass back into your radio too. And you got to get this all working without looping, without problems. And it's not like an instant success type of thing. It's definitely learning. Every system is a little bit different. And he's just really capable when it comes to programming, especially with like Windows 10 related software and stuff like that. Connor's just an absolute whiz, so he can do things yeah, he can do things a lot faster than I can. You know, I can get through something, but sometimes I have to slow down, take my time, read 6 books on it, and then and then reinstall Windows. I can't do it on my own.
Connor,
Does this require like some virtual cables as well?
So so you have to have all the VB cables as well as there's other cables and stuff out there. And then you have to have this software. There is a more dumbed down version of this, but I don't suggest it. It comes when you download Voice Meter. Hold on, give me a second because I want to share my desktop, but I've got
This is cool, dude. I was thinking that Connor was doing it just because it's just much simpler for someone else to edit your audio, because I think it would be awkward if you were editing your own audio, right?
So if I show this is what normal Voice Meter looks like. This is the base one that comes with it. I don't use it. You'll see why when it.
You're still on banana. That's not the normal one.
I know you can see my whole
have to get your
desktop.
Steam ID too, man.
Huh?
I have to get your Steam ID.
Oh, definitely.
Steam, is that code for?
Let's see. I can't. I have all my icons hidden. Okay, hold on one second.
So we can play. What's that one?
Minecraft. He's got some Minecraft going on there too.
Oh yeah. Got the Minecraft going on.
Yes, PowerShell. I use the hell out of that one too.
Oh, it's all about Factorio.
PowerShell. No, that's Windows Terminal. That's Windows Terminal right there.
Yeah, it's the same thing though. But it's PowerShell.
Well,
it's like the new PowerShell.
Yeah, it's just masked. So I got a bunch of stuff going on. But I can't pull it up right now because it only allows me to keep one of these open. But I'm actually right now in the middle, as we speak, in the middle of where is it? In the middle of doing a modded server. This whole time we've been having the net. I've been listening and working
on Discord, dude, on that live stream thing.
Oh boy, huh?
You should do that. I watch my 13-year-old all the time playing that stuff, dude. She's like,
boy.
yeah, we built this, we built that.
Yeah, no, I got a few things, but anyways, but yeah, so like audio, it's like Nick had for the longest time he had this audio loop, right? Like it was just never prevalent because he only used Zoom, and every time he would call me on Discord, you would hear it because Zoom was echo cancellation and their noise suppression, all that stuff was enabled, and it does a really good job at masking all of it. And then the second we hopped on Discord, I was like, dude, I can't talk to you. Like, it was just like I would speak, and like if anybody wants to I'll let Nick just say hi. My name is Nick.
Hi, my name is Nick. Hi, my name is Nick.
Hi, my name is Nick.
Did you guys hear it? Like double?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's like what it was talking for a while, and we kind of we had to go on a hunt to find what the audio loop was, and it took a while.
Was it a
many nights?
In the program?
No, it was.
It was a hard loop. It was a hardware loop.
Yeah.
So, now I'm using a mixer to send audio to my radio, but not send audio back to my computer, because that's where it created the problem. And what happened was, so Zoom has software that's really good at picking those types of problems up and filtering it out. So it'll allow you to do it. Discord kind of takes I think it's different. It takes your raw audio or something, and so we could never get it to work right on both programs. And we fought with it, and then I fought with it some more on my own, and finally, to run both programs at the same time, like right now, I could go into his Discord chat and talk. I had to do a bunch of different things that my computer changes as soon as I start my computer up. And it reformats the way some files work within Windows, and it was just a complicated setup to get it working right. But so far, it hasn't completely failed.
Not yet.
Not yet. Give it time.
Hey, give it time, man.
Well, the most
But
important.
yeah, it's painful.
Murphy's Law, dude.
The most important part, though, that you guys figured out, and that's the trick, is a simple mixer. If all you're doing is a mixer into a radio, no big deal. But when you start to get a lot of things that you want to go back and forth with, what this is doing is like what I've got, right? It's doing that, what's called a matrix. You need the ability to send different types of mixes to different places. And it does get complicated very fast. And that's the point is, it's not so much that Nick can't talk and do it, it's that Nick's also doing 8 million other things. So sometimes it's easier for somebody else to go in, and it's the way your brain's thinking about how to do something. And when you're really focused on audio, no big deal. But when you're focused on other things, it's the simplest things are hard to deal with. And OBS, dealing with a live stream, that all adds a whole other layer of complexity, let alone being on the radio.
Yeah, Justin,
this
let's just...
Symmetrix Jupiter, is this a paid app?
No,
not an app. It's hardware.
Oh, is that a hardware? Oh.
Yeah. So, Justin, what's the model of your mixer?
That is the Symmetrix Jupiter 8x8. Okay. So it's an 8x8 analog mixer.
1700, dude.
Well, and the funny part is, to me, this is not what I want. Like, in my world of the different things I play with, I'd love to have a tactile mixer, like at my desk, have a nice Yamaha QL1. That's a $7,000 mixer, though. But that's what I use at work, so it'd be fantastic. But it also occupies a lot of space. So using a DSP allows me to have a lot of the similar features, but it's not as fast to fly, and that's where having your different faders and different stuff, if you're really trying to mix things, makes a difference. So there's a million ways to approach this stuff. There's a lot of different ways to get into playing with it. The most important part is that you start to understand audio and play with it. That's the most important part.
Gotcha. Yeah, this is a lot more complicated than I'm pretty sure most people don't even think about this when it comes to like what you guys do for this thing. I mean, just this mixer alone makes my head spin.
So like over here, if I hit this right here, that button is what puts the radio back into the signal. But there's, depending upon the page I'm on, I was over here, I don't have access to that part. So you do have to pay attention to what interface. And I think what Connor's got going on there is a much more user-friendly interface than what this over here is. Mine's designed to be much more of a built-in and it runs kind of a thing. That's what this is, kind of more of an auto mixer for a built-in situation. This type of thing with voice meter is much more, even though it doesn't seem user-friendly, it is far more user-friendly once you start to understand the concepts behind it.
Because Connor's not a pro. That's right.
Connor
I've got a quick comment. I noticed that that in the upper right is a cassette tape. That kind of dates this software.
You know what's funny is, so this has a recording feature, and it's really cool because you can isolate what you're recording and what you're playing back, and that's a lot of fun. And I've done it a couple times on HF contacts where I wanted to record the contact, and I could sit there, like I could hit it and record and play back different parts of anything that my computer audio is putting out, whether that be anything that's coming into the computer or going out. I could just hit that record button and record it. So it makes it interesting, especially if you hear something, unique or funny or whatever you want to record on like an HF band. Or something that you don't understand, maybe. If I come across some weird noise that I don't understand, I'll just record it and then play it back to somebody and see if they can help me figure it out.
That's cool. That's
really it's funny. It's funny, Rick, you mentioned that he's 20 now. My oldest boy, when he was about 12 or something, found a cassette tape in the garage, and he was asking me what it was. He had no idea what it was. I was like, oh my God, man, this is like
dude.
I just made me feel instantly old there. I'm like, what do you mean you don't know what a cassette tape is? It was my copy of Men at Work Cargo 2. It was an excellent album.
Dude, remember making all the mixes in the 90s, dude? This mixer would have came in clutch.
You did the dual cassette player, dude. You were at it. You were on it if you had one of those.
Heck yeah, dude. We had that big Mexican like boombox things with all the lights you get at the flea market. Dude, that thing was awesome. Make all these little albums and stuff for your girlfriends.
So Bert, we heard you. We got you on a relay. You were on Highway 37, I guess.
Yep.
We weren't hearing you or I think Justin caught you right at the beginning. But then then wasn't really hearing you, but we got you in through relay. So what other stations were you hearing?
I heard a station because I was coming from the 101 onto 37, and I heard a station that was booming from um, Richmond Heights or something like that. And I didn't know where that was, but
Oh,
he was telling me.
I
Is
was
that you,
talking to
Connor?
him. No, I was talking to him. So he was the one who actually was covering the. I don't know if that was you trying to talk, Bert, and maybe I was hearing you somehow.
No, I was just listening. I was
Oh,
like,
okay.
trying to get
Yeah,
in, but I
there
didn't know
was
he
a
was talking to you.
yeah, there's a super weak station, and I only could catch K6 on the call sign, and then that's when I was saying that super strong station from Richmond Heights. He didn't check into the net or anything like that, but he just completely blanketed the guy, trying to return, and I didn't hear anything back, so I called for him, and we were going back and forth. Took him about 6 times to get my call sign, but he finally got it. And then yeah, he was just, it covered everything, so I wouldn't be. I was surprised that Justin wasn't hearing him at all.
Yeah.
Because he was
Okay.
I mean, he said he was running like 50 watts, and then he said I was fading between S9 and S5, and the only thing that he could come up with and make sense with me, because we basically got somewhat line of sight to each other. The only thing that makes sense is SFO is between us, so we could have had aircraft reflection.
Yeah, I heard something
yeah.
about that where he was like, yeah,
Yep.
I think we're propagating over a airplane or something like that. I was
Yeah,
like,
that's that's exactly what it was. Yeah, so I heard him and he was going in and out for me, and I was like, oh, okay. And you know, he said I was going in and out, and it was like at the exact time, exact transmissions, it was going back and forth. We were like, all right, must be aircraft reflection, which is actually pretty common for me, and I cannot beam there's certain angles that I can't, facing northeast, I can't beam and run anything over like 25 watts because I'll interfere with SFO because I'm directly in their flight path if I point that way. So that's why I didn't have the Yagi pointed towards Justin tonight.
yeah, the other problem I had was that I couldn't figure out how to get the squelch down on the HT with the FT70. I was just like, plus I'm driving. I'm like, I can't do this one-handed. I already can't, change the volume on this one-handed.
The FT70, isn't it this one here?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you need to press that and turn the
And
knob
turn
at
the
same
dial.
time
Yeah.
to be able to get the volume up and down. But trying to figure out how to get the squelch down, because I would see the green light pop up on here. It's like, oh, something's coming through, but I'm not hearing anything, right? And then so I was like, oh yeah, I could hit the monitor button. So I started doing that while driving on 37 while it's still like heck of traffic and starting to get dark and everything. It's just coming up to that one part where it's just like, okay, kind of.
And he drives a 6-speed too, man. So you need free hand there.
The 48 speed. Look at that thing.
Yeah, I mean, I heard Justin just for a little bit, and then when I had the monitor pushed in, I was like, I could just make him out just a little bit just after I passed Sonoma, past the racetrack by then.
Yeah.
And then I heard like Jason, and that's when I called in to check in. I wasn't even sure if anybody was even hearing me at that point, but then whoever it was that relayed my call back to Justin, I was like, okay, cool. At least
that was
checked
Chris.
in that way. Yeah.
Yeah, I had a comment I wanted to share something about when Nick, you were talking about recording things. This Kenwood handheld actually has a SD card, and you can record anything off the air when you're talking. It actually records both sides of a conversation. And it's something I've used enough. You can put it on a programmable function key. So now during any conversation, it's one keystroke and it's recording. Hit it again and it's not. But for portable operations, emergency things like that, I've used it. And it's kind of neat to have it in the radio actually. And with an SD card, it'll record for hours and then you can download it when you're done.
Yeah, that's that's a real Gucci radio right there, Rick. Sorry, Nick. I think Greg's FT3 does that too, right, Greg?
It does. You got to get into the deep menu to get at it. You know,
See, that Kenwood, Rick, that's really cool, man. That's really cool that you can put it on a button that you can click on and off.
Yeah, it's one of the functions you can assign to it's got 2 programmable function keys, and that's what I use one of them for.
That's so cool.
Yeah, I know.
Can we see that? Can we see that radio again, Rick? Can you put that up to the
let me
camera?
see that thing again.
Yeah, it's a Kenwood THD74. This is their top end handheld.
That is the flagship, right?
Yeah, it's pretty neat.
That's the Gucci right there, man.
I actually got that because I like learning new things, and it's got D-Star, APRS, GPS, all intermingled, and you can route this to that. And Bluetooth, you can actually, I can do packet with a computer, and this, no cables at all. Yeah, it's just my laptop and this, and I can.
Yeah, I've read that about that radio.
That's
There's
so cool.
Bluetooth in the FT3D, but it's for a headphone that sounds like a Dookie anyways, as far as I understand. I haven't found one that sounds good with it yet.
You can't even pair AirPods to it, dude. It detects them, but you can't pair them.
Yeah.
Bluetooth is not,
Yeah,
I don't want to get another set of Bluetooth just specifically for that thing.
The
Let Servando hook me up over
will
here.
do that to some degree.
Nice
I
little-
don't know what it is.
Nice little.
Dude, that thing is. I
global.
love that thing.
I like this thing, man. This one replaced my better one too. Yeah, this thing is awesome.
I use it every day in the car. Oh, Michael can tell you. Talk to Michael every day.
Hey, Dale, you can you hear us? Okay. Dale.
Dale's muted.
He can see us. Can you hear us?
He's having a QSO with someone, dude.
Yeah, he's got a radio in his hand.
I know he's full
ready to-
blown.
he's devotion.
Yeah. Look at that.
Call in.
Coming in.
I was
big
checking in.
Hardcore ham right there.
Just find out where he's at. Just somebody find out where he's at in Kiev and be like, "Hey, get into Zoom, buddy."
Open your ears.
Yeah. Well, I was. We'll keep Zoom going here for just a few more minutes. I am going to say 7-3 to YouTube. Thanks everybody for coming out tonight, and we will see you next week. So 7-3.